Alright, I'm back. And thanks for tuning in. So picking up where we last left off, the Cowboys have officially opened training camp in Oxnard. There's been a surprise arrival in camp, an unlikely draft pick paying dividends. Well, maybe not so unlikely if you checked out my last video. Tyron Smith looks healthy, Dak looks back to his former self, and maybe a new and improved Ezekiel Elliott. Although the season is less than 2 months away, we've got a lot of things we have to see happen between now and opening night in Tampa. The first big thing on the calendar is, of course, the first preseason game, this year's Hall of Fame game. Before getting to what I consider the true return of football, I wanted to share my thoughts on what I'll be looking for. Also, if you're following me on Twitter, I did tweet this out asking what camp battles you wanted to see most, in hopes of covering it later in a video. Don't worry, that's still happening. Just wanted to tackle the Hall of Fame game first. To make sure you don't miss out on the camp battle video when it drops, make sure to hit the sub button. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like as it helps reach a wider audience. With that said, here's my realistic thoughts and expectations on the Hall of Fame game. Starting off with the offense, I don't expect to see many of the starters this game, especially the ones coming back from injury last year. Dak, Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins, pretty much don't expect to see them. That means significant time for the backups at those spots. Obviously, quarterback is the focal point, and it should be. The question I have is who starts and for how long. Backup quarterback is a hot spot, considering Dak's injury last year, and early reports from camp haven't been good. I'm going to assume Garrett Gilbert gets the start and is the early favorite to win the job. Maybe a quarter from Gilbert, Rush plays up to the late third, and DiNucci gets to close it out. I do think the backup quarterbacks are going to have more than enough chances to show what they can do, which leads right to offensive line. Let's not get it twisted. The offensive line had its struggles without the starters last year, but it did lend a valuable experience for Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele. Just my opinion. It took them a while to get there, but they improved as the season went on. Not only that, they also got a solid veteran in Ty Nsekhe and offered good draft capital to pick up Josh Ball in the 4th round. I'm pretty confident in saying this. I think the quarterbacks will have adequate protection to make some plays. Now, before I get to wide receivers, I wanted to touch on tight ends for 1 second. Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz is probably camp battle number 1 for many people. But I'm also going to say you won't see much of either of them, if at all. It's going to be a lot of Jeremy Sprinkle and Sean McKeon. Finally, wide receivers. Amari Cooper's on PUP, Gallup has a minor ankle injury, and CeeDee Lamb is, well, CeeDee Lamb. If there's one point of emphasis when it comes to wide receivers at the bottom of the roster, it's this. Size. Simi Fehoko, TJ Vasher, Malik Turner. The backs on this team are large. Fehoko being a 5th round pick will probably see the most opportunities. But that also means for Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, they have to come in to make an impression. As for your starters, I'm going to guess it's going to be Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, playing possibly into the 3rd quarter. If you've noticed, I haven't touched on the running backs just yet, because I think wide receiver will steal most of the focus for the coaches going into this week. Take your pick. Rico Dowdle, Jaquan Hardy, Brendan Knox. I'm not sure who ends up with more snaps and carries total. If I haven't already tipped my hand, I think you'll see way more pass attempts than runs. And overall, collectively, you'll see a so-so performance from the offense. If I had to predict some standouts, I'm going to predict Simi Fehoko and Jeremy Sprinkle, and the offense puts up about 300 yards of total offense. So the defense last year, as we all know, was about as awful as the Dallas defense that has ever been. Luckily, they realized that, and I have to give them credit. They made significant changes to remedy that, firing Mike Nolan, bringing in Dan Quinn, taking on his philosophies at corner with size and length, addressed safety and brought in Malik Hooker to play the middle 3rd in the cover 3, and brought in 2 of his preferred players from Atlanta, with Keanu Neal and DeMonte KZ. Say what you want about the Joneses' mouth, but this wasn't lip service, at least not the way it seems so far. Once again, don't expect to see many defensive starters. On the defensive line, that means plenty of snaps for veterans Terrell Basham and Dorrance Armstrong at defensive end, with 2nd-year players Wandell Carter, and last year's sleeper that wasn't, Bradley and I. The part where I'm most curious about the defense is actually where and how much Micah Parsons plays. I mean, you almost have to lead with that, considering you take him that high with your first pick. And why not? Parsons has the speed and striking power to jump off the screen. And I don't know what made me think of this, but I remember the first time I saw DeMarcus Ware as a rookie in preseason against Seattle. He was all over the field, in the backfield, in coverage. It was something serious. I'm not saying Micah Parsons is going to be DeMarcus Ware, but I am saying he could have one of those type of performances if given the chance in preseason. Fun fact though, Dallas took Ware in 2005 with the 11th pick, Micah Parsons with the 12th. At D-tackle, it's going to be all about Carlos Watkins and Justin Hamilton. I feel like the team has a handle on what they have in Gallimore, Urban, and Bohanna, and will manage them cautiously. They'll probably play, but most likely no more than a quarter. For the rest of the linebackers, like I said, Leighton Vander Esch and Dylan Smith will probably sit this one out. And so to get acclimated for different reasons, I'd say we see Keanu Neal in his new home at linebacker, and Jabril Cox. More than likely, those guys will play up until the half. Luke Gifford and Ezra Kamara taking it the rest of the way. Now, corner. If you ask most fans what spot makes them the most nervous, it's corner 9 out of 10 times. Largely because of the unknown and fans wanting to see proven names there. I'm just not there, and I actually have a quiet confidence about it. Diggs will sit if I had to guess. The part I'm looking for is what they do when Pittsburgh lines up with 3 or more receivers. The Cowboys don't have anywhere near the same versatility at corner as they do at wide receiver, where any of the receivers can play outside or inside in the slot. Wright clearly looks like a boundary corner in the same way Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis appear to be specialists from the slot. If I had to bet, I would say Joseph and Wright to start on the outside, with Anthony Brown getting some burn at the slot, with Jordan Lewis playing for a series or 2. I think from the second quarter and on, it's going to be Morris Kennedy, Deontay Burton, and CJ Goodwin, with plenty of chances for Reggie Robinson to see what he can do. At safety, you're not going to see Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, and probably not DeMonte KZ. So expect Jaron Kearse, Darian Thompson, and Steven Parker. I should also mention late round pick Israel Makawamu. He's a huge body that you can't help but notice and has been making plays at camp. I'd say keep close eyes on him. Predicting defensive standouts, I'm going to say Micah Parsons, maybe a sack or forced fumble, and Israel Makawamu. The defense will make plays, 3 sacks, and maybe an interception. To wrap all this up, it's preseason, and a score doesn't matter. So long as everybody's healthy, that's a win. If I had to pick a score, I'm going to say Steelers 17, Cowboys 13. Again, these are just my best guesses on what I think will play out. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have different takes or things you expect to see? Do you have a score in mind too? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, if you like this video, drop a like. If you love this video, hit that sub button for more videos just like this one. As always, Cowboys up. Peace.